was meant basically for the youth. I was told that there are a lot of youth for this retreat, and so give something for them. So I prepared this for them, but I won't disappoint the others also. This input will help you, and I'll try to even share something that will be relevant for those of us who are married. Some points to take home. So, to begin with, the personality that I have for our reflection is an Old Testament character by the name of Joseph. Have you heard of him? Joseph, the son of Jacob, one of the 12 sons of Jacob. And Joseph had a lot of problems which youth even today encounter. And looking at the life of Joseph, we can draw a lot of inspiration and strength for us now in the 21st century and overcome problems that may come our way. So, to cut a big long story short, it's all in the book of Genesis. The story of Joseph. Joseph was loved by his father Jacob because he was son of his old age, and his father Jacob had made a nice coat for his son Joseph, and the other brothers were jealous of Joseph. And Joseph had a reputation of getting dreams, and so he used to get a lot of dreams. So he was a dreamer boy, and in one of the dreams he said that he will one day be in top position. And when his brothers heard this kind of a dream, they hated him all the more. So much so that they reached such a point of wanting to eliminate Joseph, kill him. And so one day when Joseph goes in search of his brother, they say, here's an opportunity. Let's grab this opportunity with both hands. Here comes the dreamer. We'll see what happens of his dreams. We will kill him. Then this coat which our dad has made for him, we will dip it in the blood of a goat or some other animal that we will kill, and we'll go home and tell dad that a wild beast devoured your son as he came in search of us, and here is his blood-stained coat. So this was the plan. So Joseph was hated by his brothers. Why? Because they felt jealous that their dad loved him more than them. Happens to us, no? Mommy and daddy has loved the other brother sister more than me. Therefore, I have gone through this thing of rejection, unwanted. I was an unwanted child, you may say. My mom became pregnant, and it was unexpected pregnancy, and they were thinking of abortion, etc. And finally gave birth. Unwanted child, unwanted girl child, all these things happen, and they have impact on our lives later on when we are grown up. And therefore, all these things are brought to the Lord in the process called inner healing of all these memories, painful memories, hurtful memories. We feel rejected, no? We feel rejected. Mommy pays more attention to somebody, boss pays more attention to somebody, and I begin to feel rejected. I feel jealous. I start, burning inside. All these things happen, and we live with all these heartaches and heartburns and disappointments which come our way, and we carry them for donkey years. Till somebody comes and tells us you can get rid of that baggage that you're unnecessarily carrying. And so Joseph was in this kind of a situation. He was despised by his brother, so much so they plot and they conspire to kill him. And so Reuben intervenes, the elder brother, and says, let's not kill him, he's after all our own blood, let's put him in this well which will dry. Because then he thought after his brothers go, he will rescue Joseph and save his life. And so they put Joseph in a dry well. Then they see a caravan of Ishmaelites coming on their way to Egypt. They take out Joseph from the well and they say, why kill him and why shed innocent blood and why his blood be upon us? They sell Joseph, and Joseph is taken as a slave now to Egypt. See the condition of Joseph. For no reason of his, he finds himself in a soup. He found himself in a ditch. He found himself in a pit. He found himself in a well, and now he's taken as a slave to Egypt. Okay? He's deprived of his father's love, family bonding, unity, separated, unwanted. But anyway, God has his ways, his life is spared, and he goes down to Egypt, and there in Egypt he is sold to the captain of the guards. His name is Potiphar. You'll read that in the book of Genesis. And this thing is in Genesis chapter 39. And when he's in this captain's house, he's doing well. The captain of the guard, Potiphar, has given responsibilities to Joseph to take care of his household. And Joseph is doing very well in Potiphar's house. And he's getting some kind of a leadership role. And Joseph might be thinking now, the dream that I had got and I shared it with my people at home and they were not willing to accept it. I see a fulfillment of their dreams. See, I'm giving some responsibilities, a leadership role. Joseph would be thinking somewhat like that. But it was not to be so. Let me now go to the text and read something for you. Now, I'm reading from Genesis chapter 39. Now Joseph was handsome looking. Was handsome and good looking. And after a time, his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph and said to him, lie with me, sleep with me. Okay? But Joseph refused and said to his master's wife, he said, how can I do this thing to you? I fear God and my master. What is this that you're asking me? You are inviting me. You are seducing me. You want me to have sex with you. I can't do that. And Joseph declines. He puts off all her advances. Mind you, the boy, handsome looking young man, as it's mentioned here, easily he can fall for that woman. She's given him an invitation. But see the character of Joseph. He says, how can I do this? The master has kept everything in my possession except you, because you are his wife. You are his wife. I remember some years ago, we were having a retreat in one parish in Bombay. And at the end of the retreat, some boys, they came to me. And we were sitting there in the church. This kind of a mission was in the church. And they said, we want to talk to you. And I said, yeah, sure. So we sat down there in the church, the first bench, and they asked me this question. Is it okay for us to have sex with married women? Easy question. They're asking me this question. Clear? Is it okay for us to have sex with married women? And I said, no. It's not okay to have, for you to have sex with married women. You know the teachings of the church, you know the commandments, do not commit adultery. It's not an acceptable thing in our society. And they're arguing with me. They're saying these married women, no, their husbands are out in the Gulf. And they come once in 2 years down to Bombay. And these women are sexually starved. They're telling me all this thing now. And I'm listening to them in the church. This is happening in the church, not compound or outside. And they're telling me, see, they're pitiable, poor tarts. they're deprived of sex, and we rise to the occasion. We satisfy their sexual desires. Is that not justified? How can you say that it is wrong? And I still hold on to my teaching and upbringing that I've had, and I say it's wrong. It's not justified. And they are arguing with me. And then they begin to make fun of me and laugh at me because I'm an old timer. I'm not keeping in pace with modern times and trends and happenings in our society. I am also youth at that point of time. When this incident has happened, there was a youth retreat that we are having in one of the parishes in Mumbai. So Catholic boys, not Muslim boys, Hindu boys asking this question, Catholic boys not from New York or Paris or London, there the culture is different, or Los Angeles, California, from Mumbai. And I say it's wrong. So they made fun of me, they ridiculed me, they laughed at me and made me feel like as though I'm a joker, and they went. And I sat down and I said to myself, Lord, what's this happening amongst our young boys in this city of Bombay? Where have we fallen? What is this? And another thought came to my mind, and are married women, have they got any sense themselves? Their husbands are earning and slogging out in the Gulf, and each time they come, whenever they come down, they are getting loads of things, and money is flowing in, and jewelry is coming, and luxuries, and gadgets, you name it, and they are all coming home. But see them, what they are doing behind their husbands' back. And I thought in my mind, what's the use of earning those petrodollars and riyals and dirhams and whatnot, dinars, Kuwaiti dinars, whatever. When the situation in the family has hit rock bottom. True story, I'm not making up. And then I see a Joseph, so many years ago, and he has applied the brakes. Says, no, I cannot indulge in this sinful activity, involvement. And see how temptation, lurks. She tells him once, verse 10 says, and although she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not consent to lie beside her or even to be with her. Because God knows that anything can happen. So he's avoiding and he's refusing. He's saying no to the offer Potiphar's wife is making. One day, however, as the story goes, when he is alone in the house and there is nobody in the house, Potiphar's wife sees him, she comes into the room, she grabs hold of him and says, now I'm not going to leave you, you have to sleep with me and we have to have a sexual relationship. Joseph is trapped. Read that in Genesis chapter 29. He's trapped. What does he do? He leaves the towel or the garment that he was wrapped with in her hand and runs away He runs away from her. He doesn't give in, even though he finds himself being cornered by this woman. Nobody's at home. Husband is at work. Nobody will know, will not get caught. And Joseph runs away from that situation. And when the woman finds that she is now left in this kind of a situation, with his loincloth in her hands, she raises hell, makes a hue and a cry, and then she says, "See, my husband has brought amongst us a Hebrew to insult us. He came into me to lie with me, to sleep with me. And I cried out with a loud voice, and when he heard me raise my voice and cry, he left his garment beside me and fled outside." See the twist in the story. Do you see the twist? What has happened and what is now being reported? Completely different. Then she kept his garment by her until his master came home, and she told him the same story. This Hebrew whom you have brought approached me to rape me, to assault me sexually, and I made noise, and when I raised an alarm, he left his garment and ran away. He came in to insult me. Read that, chapter 39. When his master heard what his wife is telling, he believed what she was saying. What does he do? And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, the place where king's prisoners were confined. And there Joseph is now in the prison behind bars. Do you see the plot? See what's happening? See Joseph, in the first case, he was rejected. He was a victim of jealousy. Okay? Father was loving him more than the others. The other brothers were filling jail. They were burning. Now, Potiphar's wife tries to seduce him, and Joseph refuses to fall into the trap. It's as though our Father is relevant at that time. Jesus comes later. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Familiar prayer, no? This is happening in the life of Joseph even before Jesus can make this prayer. And so when Joseph refuses to fall into the trap, her unsuccessful attempts prompts her to falsely accuse Joseph. And Joseph's innocence, his character, his uprightness, his sense of purity, righteousness, wanting to be good, holy, lands him into jail. It's one thing having committed a crime with Potiphar's wife and then caught, trapped, discovered, then sentenced, then you are rightly paying for your stay in jail. But not Joseph under these circumstances. What was the mind of Joseph? It was to be faithful to his heavenly master as well as his earthly master. So these thoughts go in my mind when I think of the group of boys I met in that parish. They were plunging when the invitation came from those married women. Nose diving, you may say, and giving him to the lustful demands that were placed before him. And here we have Joseph, young boy. He's barely 17 years at this point of time in his life. 70, 1-7. He runs away from the situation. So the temptation is there, no? Temptation is there. You and I find ourselves in such spots so often. Unfortunately, because of our weakness, we succumb. We slip. We stumble. We fall into temptation. We allow ourselves to be led into temptation. Oh, such an offer is coming to have sex. Free of cost. I don't have to pay. A boy will say, I don't have to go to a brothel or a whole joint. It's being made on a platter. Why not grab the opportunity? Why miss the boat? Joseph's thinking was different. My thinking is different. Our thinking is different. He could have brought a number of reasons why he could have slept with Potiphar's wife. Number of reasons. Reason number one, he was young. Okay? The blood is hot. And it's only natural for him to react and respond to such an invitation. Young after all. It's natural. He could have said, that's a reason. The urge for sex is there. The drive is there. Natural instinct. Could have made that as an excuse. He could have said, like those boys, no, these women are not satisfied, their husband's out for a long time, and so we go to satisfy them. He could have said, oh, no, Potiphar's wife is lonely, her demands are not met, she is not sexually satisfied, and the thought of satisfying her could have appealed to his romantic senses. Let me do justice. Poor thing, she's starved. Let me fulfill her desires. You could have thought like that. Are you following what I'm saying? I'm quite frank in sharing. You all grown-ups. I can't talk this way to the kids. I can talk to mature people like you in a situation like this. He could have indulged in self-pity. He could have said, oh, poor me. Nobody loves me. My own family members, my brothers have disowned me. They left me to die in the well. Eventually they sold me. Oh, poor me. Nobody loves me. Don't we feel like that? Unloved, unwanted, rejected. Then we go to find, love in the wrong places, wrong people, wrong things, because we are not getting it at home. We try to search it out in the world, and the world is waiting to grab us and swallow us, because our parents at home have got no time for us. They're busy in the world of their own. And so we youth are moving out, and lot of consolation and pleasure is available outside. Believe it or not, it's available. And I go there because nobody loves me at home. Poor me. self-pity. All these are areas of inner healing. Root cause. Therefore I go out. Because my demands are met there. Then I get indulged in alcohol, drinking, womanizing, prostitution. I'm freaking out. It's happening in the world of today. So he could have said that. He could have thought on these lines that if I now associate myself with Potiphar's wife, that will enhance, it will give an opportunity to come up the corporate ladder. She can then speak to her husband and I can find a favorable spot. I can rise up. A woman can say, if I allow myself, to be had by my boss, I get perks, promotion, facilities. If I give in to his sexual advances and desires, I'm his secretary, it will improve my prospects of promotion. I land into places. Isn't that happening to you? I've come across women who have shared with me such things at retreats. What to do? Have you come down to your senses? Has the Spirit convicted you? Tomorrow when you go home from this retreat, it has to be a different story, a different life than what you have been leading up to this moment. What you have done all these things with or without the knowledge of Tom, Dick and Harry. It's all forgiven, forgotten. When you've come to Him in repentance, confession, it's forgotten. Forgotten. This kind of a life that you have lived, adulterous life, forgiven. Tomorrow is your challenge. When you go to work and the boss invites you, power of the Holy Spirit is required. Strength of the Holy Spirit, the spirit of self-control. Your job may be at stake. You may be demoted. You may be sacked. You may be blackmailed. You don't know. Okay? If you do not give in, you are under pressure. All these things happen. And Joseph could have said, if I indulge in a sexual relationship with Potiphar's wife, my chances of moving up the corporate ladder are high. If she's happy, she'll put in a word to her husband. And then afterwards, he could have said, like all of us who say, we always put the blame on others. I didn't want to do it. He forced me to do it. I didn't want to indulge in it, but the circumstances led me to do it. I did not want to eat the apple, Adam said, but what to do? Eve gave it to me. And he was saying, I didn't want to eat the apple either. The serpent, he banawed me, fussed me, enticed me. And so Joseph could have played that same old ball game. You're very good at playing such games. Pass the ball on to somebody else. Joseph did not do that. He chose, on the contrary, to flee from that situation. It requires character. It requires guts. It requires determination. It requires the strength and the power of the Holy Spirit to do What Joseph did. Very often, every day, we are saying, and lead us not into temptation. And wholesale, we are moving into temptation, succumbing, yielding. It's happening day in and day out. Maybe we are not meaning the Our Father will give us this day when we recite it. We rattle, we go through it as a motion, something that has to be said. Let us say during the family rosary, during the Mass. If you want the strength, it's available. Don't say, I can't, you can. You can. Joseph did. Don't say you can't. Do you want to? That's a question. Do I desire to do what is right? That's a question you must ask. Don't say, no, I can't, what to do, circumstances are like this. Therefore I am looking elsewhere for fun, pleasure. This will be applicable for all. Those meant for the youth, even the adults can apply it for themselves. Even we fall into temptation. We who are married also are tempted. Okay? It's not that once I am married, all the temptations are gone now. We also put to the test. The married women, married men also go through these things in life. Therefore, we have so many, cases of extramarital affairs. Extramarital affairs. You have your wife, yet you are attracted to another woman. You have your husband, yet you are attracted to another man. It's happening. It's happening. So, I want to end this session so that I can then touch something for the married and those who are desirous to get married, and also for the youth. It will come handy for you for when it rains and it's cloudy and dark. So, I want to give you something. So, first thing, I'll go through this quickly. Do not compromise. Say no. Say no. Don't say it's okay. In the United States and in Europe, anybody sleeps with anybody, live in relationships, galore there, chalta hai, it is okay. In the films we see it, in the serials we see it, chalta hai, society has approved of it. You have to be firm, do not compromise where immorality is concerned. Decide to remain pure. Decide to remain pure. Once in my office, a Hindu boss, I talked to him a lot. He knows that I'm involved in all this kind of work and things like that. And at times, he would even drop me in his vehicle to the church that I had to go to give a talk, being a Hindu boss. He knows all that. He says, he told me once, Carlos, I pity your Catholic boys. And I said, why? And this is what he had to say. He said, I wonder, he's telling me, he's a Hindu, I wonder whether the girls they marry at the time of their marriage, whether they are virgins or not. This is what he's expressing. He's saying, I wonder if your Catholic girls at the time of their marriage are virgins, or they have already lost their virginity sometime before marriage. And I said, why? He said, Chalu. He's telling me, he's talking like this, we are free. He said, they are Chalu. Second-hand stuff he's telling me. Okay. And I'm listening to him. He said, I pity you Catholic boys. This is his impression. Where did he get it? Perhaps in the college that he was, the institute where he did his MBA and further studies. I had to sit down with him and tell him, you may have seen an incident here and there, but you cannot generalize and say all our Catholic girls are second-hand stuff and chalu. These are the words that he used. So we decide to remain pure. A boy should think in this manner, just as I want a virgin to be my wife, I must make sure that I am a virgin myself. Not that I've had a fling, with so many girls all these years. I have really had a gala time. Okay, and I'm reluctant now. I want a girl who's virgin. Good desire, good requirement that you're having. See that you are virgin yourself. Or a girl should think the same way. I want a boy who has not had, sexual integration, involvement. Good. What about me? Precaution is better than cure. If I know that I will burn my hand by putting it in the fire, I will not put it in the fire. I know that after putting it in the fire, I can go for plastic surgery and burn all and this and that. That is cure. Precaution is better than cure, was the old saying. Okay. Then, therefore, the marriage altar. You all know what is that? Marriage altar? Yes or no? No? When you go for your nuptials, you go before the marriage altar. The marriage altar should come before the marriage bed. Clear? No need of explanation? Let me proceed. Guard your thoughts. See, actually our mind now goes haywire. Haywire. And we need to guard our thoughts.